urban planning tools for land management, that is Kajiado County. Turkana County has an education county digital education management information system and a feeder data collection system to manage pre-primary education, bursary applications, and digital reporting in time. So on that system, they're able to actually see who has received the bursary and has the money been paid, so that there's no duplication that one student is receiving more than one bursary. And the Nairobi County e-construction permit system, online application for a building permit and receipts, citizen-based service delivery monitoring. You could look at issues of street lighting, waste management through a service-oriented architecture comprising of a mobile app, SMS, and web interfaces. This is again another list. We've spoken about the e-permit and licensing, Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, digital agricultural platforms supporting farmer registration and subsidy tracking. Major challenges that persist in integrating the said services is that, one, there is lack of data for infrastructure and utilities management, so that you'll find that if you go to a respective county, the data is still in paper form, it has not been digitalized. The other one is variance in digital literacy and ICT infrastructure across the different counties. Without reliable connectivity and hardware, best software cannot perform. And then, of course, there are also funding constraints for technology upgrades. But the most important thing is that no single engineering field can deliver alone. So engineers will work with fellow engineers. They will also work with the finance team. They will also work with land valuers. So what is the focus in terms of transport and infrastructure for digitalization? Digital road and bridge asset management. Know what the county owns. Smart traffic management and e-permitting systems. Infrastructure condition monitoring using drones and sensors. Intelligent traffic management systems. I spoke about Kenya Urban Roads Authority that is now working on a project to install 400 digitalized junctions. Then at the National Transport and Safety Authority, we have the Intelligent Road Safety Management System, where as a county, you're able to access how many PSV matatus do we have in Nairobi, what is the real-time speed the PSV matatu is doing, and that cuts across GIS experts, electrical engineers, ICT / software engineers. Those will be for the portal and billing system, instrumentation and control engineers, mechanical engineers for pump and pipe automation. Remember, I said no single engineer can work alone when it comes to digitalization. In terms of land, housing, and urban development, GIS-based land registration and planning, very good for your rating system. Smart housing designs, integrating renewable energy and smart metering. Urban transport integration and smart city frameworks. So there you will need engineers, civil, structural, ICT software experts, GIS experts, electrical engineers. The list is that long. In terms of livestock, again, smart fishery management system and marine traffic monitoring, Internet of Things, enabled agriculture precision farming, livestock tracking and smart irrigation, automated cooperative management platforms. And again, who are the engineers you are bringing on board at the county? You'll need an agricultural engineer at least, electrical engineer, mechanical, civil, ICT software engineers, and geospatial experts. In terms of fire and emergency services, we expect that the emergency call and dispatch services will operate 24/7, and for it to operate that 24/7, you need a computer-aided dispatch platform to log in incidents, track response time, and guide deployment. GPS-enabled fleet management to locate the nearest response teams, especially in terms of when we have traffic crashes. GIS mapping and risk modeling, digitalized maps showing hydrant locations, road access, building layouts, and hazard phones. The hydrant locations is very important for the fire engine so that they know where they can actually draw the water from. Predictive modeling to identify high-risk areas and optimize station locations. So depending on what is happening in your respective county, based on the digital mapping, you can decide where to locate your services. Smart firefighting infrastructure. Again, IoT sensors for smoke, heat, gas detection integrated into buildings. And this will be done by the mechanical engineers and the structural engineers. Remote monitoring of fire hydrants, water tanks, and pump systems. Interagency communication platforms. Again, this is very important. Shared situational awareness platforms linking police, ambulance, disaster management, and fire services. So in fact, all our services as a country need to be integrated so that depending on the levels of access, we're able actually to click a button and to see this county, this is where we are. Data analysis and post-incident review, digital incident records for trend analysis and prevention planning. It is only when you have data that you can plan and measure what you're going to do and what the outcome is going to be. AI-assisted review to recommend infrastructure and policy changes. So these are just a few case studies I'm about to finish. I would want you to look at the Estonia e-government. And in Estonia, they have a single digital identity system called the X-Road, which enables access to education, healthcare, tax, and legal services for the whole country. For that one, the main people they used were the software engineering and systems engineering. And what was their role? Their role was to integrate design, cybersecurity, and the API development. This resulted in a $1.4 billion saving. Citizens access services without visiting offices. You need to ask yourself that at county level, how many of your citizens are able to access services? So lessons learned, interoperability, citizen-centric platforms, and strong digital leadership. India's case, again, this is a digital system where they have used digital literacy initiatives, citizen service portals, and smart health card systems. They also have another one called Telangana Hub. Again, this is India's largest innovation and startup incubators, pulling in robotics, AI, product design, cyber security engineers, and smart urban planning tools. What is the outcome? Real-time land and health management systems to improve transparency and service delivery. I have listed the engineers that you need there. So what is the lesson learned? Grassroots digital literacy. So you must train the people at the grassroots in your counties to be able to access your digital services. State-level innovation. So you can see it is cross-cutting. In our case, it would be between national government and the county government. I talked about Irembo platform in Rwanda, 247 government services accessible by the mobile phone. We need to ask ourselves that at county level, how many services can our residents in the county access through the mobile phone? So it is just a mobile app. We could also visit Rwanda and see what they are doing and learn from them. So in that system, some of the areas they have is automated birth certificates, driving licenses. Driving licenses for NTSA is already automated. Land services focus on citizen experience and easy access. So What is our lesson we are taking home? We need to design for mobile fast access and rural populations. Nakuru County, again, Nakuru County has set the pace through a spatial data infrastructure, SDI and GIS integration. Now, one of the things we have seen is that different counties in the country are coming up with different digitalization transformation ideas, and I hope all this can be coordinated so that we have cross-county learning. So Nakuru County is actively leveraging on GIS for urban planning to enhance service delivery, resource management, and overall development. We saw, I think, a week ago when they were on the television talking about recycling of solid waste. So engineers are key to designing, deploying, and operationalizing these technologies. So again, that is just about engineers in Nakuru County. Again, the engineers there were strategic partners. In that partnership, which entities like HOT and the World Bank funded it. And then engineers as change agents transform counties into smart data-driven economies. Makueni County, what is Makueni County doing? Makueni County, a digitalized health management system called Afya Makueni, aiming to improve health care delivery and efficiency. And we as the Institution of Engineers of Kenya, we have an MOU with Makueni County where we actually training their engineers in other areas. So digitalization will also be one of those areas. And then system design and integration, engineered the county-wide digital health platform linking all facilities. This has been done by engineers in Makueni County. Murang'a County again have digitalized most of their services. They have used a software engineer from the county, one of their own. So that means that it is actually doable. They have digital infrastructure, ensured reliable internet and IT hardware distribution, payment automation. So it's a whole list of things that Murang'a County has done. Nairobi County, we have spoken about, first of all, it's the economic hub. It has a unified platform for licenses, parking permits, and taxes. And again, engineers develop the back-end architect and integration. There is a GIS platform that digitalizes land records, zoning maps, building permits, and property boundaries. This has led to a reduction in land fraud. It promotes transparency and speeds up planning approvals. So you're able to track where you are. I'm just about to finish. Allow me to skip that one. The infrastructure scorecard, my colleague is going to talk about that. So I will also skip that, those specific slides. Site handbook, our president will talk about that, or the representative from NCA will talk about that. So I'll skip that one. What are the opportunities? I'm just about to come to the end. Job creation in ICT and infrastructure development. Better disaster planning and response via real-time systems so that everybody in the county knows that if this is the service I am looking for, this is how I will get that specific service. Enhanced financial reporting attracts grants and donor support. So if you have those systems, the donors already now know that this is where we want to invest in. Creation of public-private partnerships for county development, leveraging on innovation from startups and tech firms. So you have those opportunities, civil engineers, mechanical. I had already given those examples, so allow me not to give that. But civil engineers plan and supervise, mechanical, so you'll get this PowerPoint presentation. Biomedical engineers, I don't know how many counties have employed biomedical engineers, but you need them to digitize your county health facilities with equipment that integrates health systems, maintain telemedicine hardware for the rural clinics, deploy smart diagnostic devices connected to the central hospitals. Agricultural engineers integrate GIS mapping for land use, agriculture, and climate monitoring. And this would even help you access climate funds. Use precision agricultural tools to optimize crop yields and livestock. Support digital tracking for fisheries and the blue economy. I will skip that. So what is the impact? Engineers become enablers of efficient, transparent, and environmentally responsible governance. Their technical expertise ensures digital solutions are robust, scalable, and tailored to local realities, directly contributing to productivity gains, cost savings, and sustainable county goals. Every successful transformation needs engineering brains and engineering hands. What is our vision for the counties from a digitalization perspective? Our vision is that a digitally empowered county government where engineers drive innovation, integrate smart technologies, create sustainable citizen-centric services that enhance efficiency, productivity, and resiliency across all sectors. Build local capacity through training and innovation hubs. IEK has a capacity building committee that is called Engineering and Education, and we continuously train the engineers on those digital aspects. Leverage engineering expertise to deliver smart systems. So it is important that the counties must employ engineers in all those sectors I have spoken about that will drive and transform their services. So what is the call for action? For the counties, integrate engineering expertise in every step of our county digitalization journey, from design to deployment, from maintenance to innovation. The engineer must be with you. Engineers are not just builders of roads, water system, or structures. No, they are the architects of digital solutions that will shape the lives of citizens for generations to come. In terms of investors, once you've started that digital journey, you have opportunity to fuel transformation that will increase efficiency, reduce leakages, expand market access, and create sustainable economic growth. IEK will continue being a key voice in policy, innovation, and development. Finally, IEK, the Institution of Engineers of Kenya, commits to champion capacity building for engineers in emerging digital tools and platforms, collaborate with county and national government to ensure interoperability and data-driven decision-making, advocate for policies and standards that guarantee quality, safety, and resilience in digital system, mobilize engineering innovation to bridge service delivery gaps and improve citizens' quality of life. No county should be left behind in the digital transformation journey. Together, engineers can and will power a smarter, more productive, and more sustainable future for Kenya and for the counties. I think yes, this is the last slide. The future is local. The time is now. Let us invest in county digitalization and reap the benefits of a smarter, more connected, and more prosperous Kenya. Thank you very much. IEK will offer you All those engineers, the ones I listed, we have them, and I know the counties don't have them. So I hope you can advertise for the job opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Christine Ogut, for that presentation. It cuts across, and we are enlightened. We want to recognize the Deputy Governor, Kiambu County, Rosemary Jerry Kirika, for being with us. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We appreciate your presence. We just give engineer a round of applause. I want to, just a round of applause. I want to encourage us to note down the questions. If we have all clarifications, we are going to have a panel, a plenary panel session that all these things will be handled. Our next speaker will be Engineer Jennifer Korir, who is the Honorary Secretary, Honorary Treasurer, to the Institution of Engineers of Kenya. She will be taking us through the importance of infrastructure report card in supporting county agenda. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Engineer Jackson Mwembe, our Hon Secretary. Good morning. Thank you very much. My name is Engineer Jennifer Korir, as you have heard, and I'm going to take you through the importance of infrastructure report card in supporting county agenda. Thank you. So what is this infrastructure report card we are talking about? It is this research, first of all, was aimed at establishing a report card that evaluated both national and county government infrastructure score as at 31st December 2023. The sectors of focus in the 2023 infrastructure report card, and by the way, we have it, we developed, the Institution of Engineers of Kenya developed an infrastructure report card in the year 2023, and that is, I'm going to take you through what it is all about. And in the 2021, we did an infrastructure report card that covered national government only, and that is our baseline in some of the infrastructure sectors. So the preparation of the 2025 infrastructure scorecard is currently ongoing, and it will be done after every 2 years. I don't know if it is visible, but this was our scope in the sectors that I mentioned. There are these sectors that I mentioned: energy, oil and gas, that is 1. Production and manufacturing sector, that is 2. Water and sanitation, 3. Education, 4. Telecommunication sector, 5. Health sector, 6. Transportation, 7. Buildings, 8. And agricultural sector. So those are the 9 sectors that we did for the infrastructure scorecard. So that was the scope, and we were talking about in oil and gas, we wanted to see the condition and capacity of power generating, and conditions of and capacity of each one of them. In production and manufacturing, we wanted to see the key stakeholders, types of industries, and in the building sector, we wanted to see the enabling environment, water and sanitation, adequacy of the and bulk of water supply, transportation sector, adequacy of coordinated of road networks, road coverage, and other transportation sectors, for example, railway and also air transport, also maritime transport. In the agricultural sector, we wanted to see the irrigation and agricultural sector, agricultural equipments available. In telecommunication, we wanted to see the mobile coverage, and health sector, we wanted to see the adequacy of the hospitals, and in the education sector, we wanted to see the number of schools, adequacy of the services, and support infrastructure. For example, the classrooms versus the pupils and all that. We started our baseline in 2021. There was an IEK infrastructure report card. And then we also checked good practices that has been done in other countries like South Africa, USA. They did theirs in 2021. South Africa did theirs in 2022. And Japan also did in 2021. So the grading mechanism that we used, when you see excellent, it is infrastructure is performing optimally in every aspect. When you see B, which is good, infrastructure is in a condition and satisfies current and projected demands. When you see C, that is fair, it means that infrastructure condition is acceptable, although stressed at peak periods. It will need investment in the current medium term to avoid serious deficiencies. When you see poor, you will see that infrastructure is not coping with the normal demand and is poor state. It is likely that the public will be subjected to severe inconveniences and even danger without prompt action. When you see fail, infrastructure has failed or is on the verge of failure, exposing the public to social health and safety hazards, and requires immediate action. So when we go to the sector, in 2023, energy, oil and gas sector performed good. That is, capacity of generating equipment, 3,321.3 megawatts against projected demand in the 10-year horizon of 3,771. So the score was excellent. The capacity of transmitting equipment at April 2023 against the projected demand in 5-year horizon. However, undeveloped of redundancy parts, alternative routes has contributed to power outages. So the score was fair. When you see the emission control resulting from power reduced from renewable resources, it scored good. It was having a 7.42. Household power accessibility, fair. Power tariff compared to regionally Ethiopia, Egypt, Norway, South Africa, Tanzania, we scored poor. Midstream and downstream oil and gas storage, market access, it was excellent. So the overall was B in the whole country. When we go to production sector, okay, the sector contributed to 7.8% to the country's GDP, so it was fail. So industrial parks with favorable incentives ongoing at the River EPZ, operational construction. So all that EPZ, it scored fair also. KEBS task enforces quality standards, it scored fair. So let me see the average score for production sector, if you can remove that part. So in water supply, we scored C, which is fair. So WASREP estimates 62% of the national population lived in areas served by regulated utilities. We scored poor. In WASREP also averages daily service hours at 17 hours, beating the acceptable sector benchmark of 12 hours. So there we scored fair. When you go to sanitation part, we scored poor. So the 2019 census estimated 7.4 of Kenyans practice OD relative to UN SDGs of zero target. So you see OD is open defecation, which means that there are some areas where sanitation is not being managed well. So that part we scored good. WASREP estimates seaward sanitation coverage by water service providers category at 16% against UN SDGs 80% target. There we scored, we failed. SDG 6, monitoring estimates our total volume of household wastewater safely treated at 78 million. There we scored fail. Solid waste per capita output, 0.5 kg by head day against 0.1 score. There we also scored poor. So fail, sorry. So in water supply, we scored fair, sanitation poor for the whole country. Yes, when we go to building sector, which I think it will improve now that we are doing affordable housing, there was free online approval by NCA of building plans and construction permits by NCA and eliminated approval bottlenecks, and we scored good. Center of Affordable Housing Africa 2023 established our construction in part we scored good. So the UN SDR 2023 estimates 50.8% of our urban population live in informal settlements. There we scored poor. The same report also estimates 6.2% of the urban population have access to clean water against UN SDGs target of 100%. There we scored poor. So study of National Building Inspectorate report June 2023 established that around 5% of the total building under study were unsafe. So there we scored poor. So the building approval rates were still low in our country. When you go to road sector, our average was also poor, fair. Sorry. So the UN SDG 2023 estimates a rural access index of 64.4% against recommended 100%. So there we scored fair. KRB's RIGS 2023 estimated our paved roads rate of 3.4 kilometers per 10,000 inhabitants against the World Bank's average of 4.7 kilometers per 10,000 inhabitants for developing countries. So there we scored fair. 2023 report fatalities from road accidents at 65 killed per 1 million inhabitants compared to the National Road Safety Action Plan aimed at having the 2022 baseline of 87 killed by 1 million. So there we scored poor. So poor fuel quality, aging fleets, lack of mandatory roadworthy emission tests policy have led to increased emissions. So there we also scored poor. Railway sector, we also scored poor there. So the SGR was designed to handle 20 million tons annually compared to 6.29 million tons transported in financial year 2023. So we failed. Cargo transported in MGR increased from 787,000 tons in 2022 to 1,955,000 tons in 2023. The annual passenger transportation through SGR was 2,727,000 in financial year 2023. Decarbonization strategy aimed at electrifying SGR from Mombasa to Nairobi, shifting 30% of freight from Mombasa to Nairobi to road and rail. That one had not been done in 2023, so we were poor, or it was still ongoing. In airways, our score was also D. So Kenya has a total of 470 aerodromes. IATA's Sustainability and Economic Q1 2023 ranks Kenya in terms of Air Connectivity Index, ACI, at position 76 out of 100 countries. So we scored fail. 84% of KAA-owned aerodromes runway are in good condition, so that score was good. IATA ranked Kenya's Air Trade Facilitation Index at 69th out of 124 countries, Kenya Passenger Facilitation, and there we scored also poor. So decarbonization strategy targets to introduce certification policies based on sustainable aviation charter, and there we scored fair. Maritime, our score was good, B. Port of Mombasa has an annual capacity of 2.65 million TEUs. Kisumu Port, 15,000 TEUs, while Lamu Port, 10,000 TEUs. TMA report showed that Kenya's port capacity will slightly throttle the projected 5-year horizon, so it was excellent. Mombasa Port current waiting time is 15 hours against the 12-hour score, so excellent. Average dwelling time at 86 hours against the targeted 48 hours, that was score was fail. Decarbonization strategy also fair. So maritime average good. Agricultural sector fair. 551,000 acres put under irrigation against 1.913 million acres. So we scored fail. Agriculture roads dependent on rural access index of 62.5. The score was poor. Mechanization level of agriculture in Kenya estimated as 0.14 HP per hectare in 2019, relatively consistent with that in other major sub-Saharan African countries, fair. Agricultural sector contributed to the country's GDP in financial year 22-23 at 21% score. So that was excellent. In agricultural sector, C. Sorry. So telecommunications sector, we scored B. Mobile operation in Kenya stood at 67.1%. Compared to global superpowers like the USA, France, UK, so we scored fair. Major towns in Kenya are in 4G and 5G connectivity, that is fair. National optic fiber backbone infrastructure project installed in 8,900 kilometers of the infrastructure, that is excellent. So in health sector, we scored fair. Mean availability of specialized services at 30%. We scored fair. National average 20 health workforce per 10,000 people is below recommended 23. We're not badly off, good. In education sector, we scored poor. Teacher to learner ratio, pre-primary 1 to 52, primary 1 to 41, secondary 1 to 29, recommended 1 to 40. Not badly off, good. Classroom to learner ratio, pre-primary 1 to 53, primary 1 to 37, secondary level 1 to 40, recommended score 1 to 45. So we scored fair. Toilet to pupil ratio, pre-primary 1 to 37, secondary 1 to 30, and recommended 1 to 25. There we scored poor. And then functional internet at 14.9 at pre-primary score, poor. So the average became poor. Now this 2023 infrastructure scorecard, we also did county scores. And we have all the 47 counties being scored in different, this is average score for every county. For example, we have Mombasa with C. We have Wajir with E. We have Nairobi with B. And I think that is the meaning of devolution, that Nairobi is higher than as we are going to see in the maps. So the devolution now will bring all the counties at par. So all these counties have their scores, as you can see. Makueni, C, Baringo, D, and all that. And this infrastructure scorecard is available in our website. Now when we go to different sectors in each and every county, this is how we performed. All these are 47 counties, as you can see. So electricity access, you can see that Nairobi is leading at 97, and we have counties like Turkana, which is the lowest in terms of electricity. So when you see the map of Kenya, red being well electrified and green being not electrified. So you can see the northern part of Kenya is not electrified well. And I think that this infrastructure scorecard will now guide the government on how and the county governments on where to prioritize. So that is electricity access in every county. When we go to number of approved buildings, I think this is now building sector. You can see Nairobi is leading far away from many counties. These are 47 counties, as you can see. And when you see the map also, it shows that the part of northern Kenya and part of other counties are also lagging behind in terms of buildings. And I know this will improve much because of the affordable housing that is ongoing. So we are doing the 2025 infrastructure scorecard, and we are looking forward to seeing how we are performing in that sector. Yes, when you go to sanitation, which is open defecation, you can see that only a few counties are still using that part of defecation, Samburu, and some parts. But when you see Nairobi and Mombasa, they have improved much, and they don't have that part of defecation. So this is what was done in the study. You can see that some counties are still using that part of sanitation type, and I think it can guide, this infrastructure scorecard can guide on where to prioritize. Rural Access Index. Rural Access Index, as you can see the map of Kenya and also how we are performing, we are not badly off in most counties. Lamu is still lagging behind a bit, and other counties have improved, and we can have a good average. Yeah, so main gauge railway, you can see that in most counties, we are not doing well there, as you have seen in the map. Mobile networks, you can see that actually the whole country is digitized. So you can see how we are doing in each and every county. We are doing well. Yes, county comparisons. Let me skip that because it's not. So average learner teacher, this is education sector. You can see some counties are doing well. Some are still lagging behind in terms of average learner to teacher ratio. So this IRC can also guide the national government on where to send the teachers. Learner to classroom, you can see learner to classroom also. It has improved in many counties, but we can still improve. Learner to classroom ratio. Learner to toilet ratio, most counties, some of the counties are not doing well. Like you can go to a public primary school with 1,000 pupils and you can find out that actually the toilets are not adequate at all. So this is where we are as different counties. ICT assess. As I said, I think in ICT and digitization, as my colleague has talked about, you can see how we are performing in different counties. Leaders being in Mombasa, and I think Lamu, Nairobi is not badly off, and Nyeri, and all those counties. So what is the importance of this infrastructure report card? I'm about to finish. So infrastructure report card is like a health checkup. The checkup that you always go and do in the lab. So this is IRC is telling you how you are performing. So it physical systems like roads, water, sanitation, electricity, grid, schools, etc. It assesses their condition, performance, and future needs. Infrastructure scorecard or infrastructure report card is a strategic tool that helps a county maintain safety, plan for growth, spend wisely, and attract investment while keeping the public informed and engaged. Importance of also IRC, it highlights current condition, gives a clear evidence-based picture of the state of infrastructure, shows what is working well and what is deteriorating, prevents hidden problems from becoming costly crises. It also guides government, both national and county, in planning and policy. So it helps leaders to prioritize projects based on urgency and impact. It ensures long-term planning instead of short-term political fixes. It ensures supports sustainability development goals, SDGs. It improves public awareness and accountability. Translates technical assessment into simple grades or ratings that the public can understand. It also creates pressure for transparency in infrastructure spending. It also encourages citizens to hold leaders accountable. It also attracts investment. When you have done an IRC in your county, the investors can look at it and say it is actually clear. So provides data for local and foreign investors that can be trusted. A good rating signals a stable environment. A poor rating shows opportunities for investment. So both of them, if you are performing well, then they see that that is a stable environment for business. If you are performing poorly, they will also show that shows opportunities. So both sides will attract investment. So it prevents also economic losses. Infrastructure fails can disrupt trade, transport, health, and education. Early detection through a report card reduces maintenance costs and prevents disasters. It also encourages innovation and sustainability, highlights where modern technologies, renewable energy, or climate resilient designs are needed. When done well, an IRC is not just a diagnosis. It's a persuasive document that can drive policy reforms, budget allocation, and even legislation, while attracting investors who want to engage in large-scale national or county projects. Thank you.
Good work, engineer. Another round of applause. You know, one thing that sent terror down children's spine during our time was a report card. So this is now for professionals and for the counties and the national government to at least look at their position in the country and how they are performing. Thank you very much, engineer, for that presentation. I would like to move to the next step where we are going to have our session, and I will request Engineer Shama Kiteme to be up front. QS Susan from Susan Ruto, who is the General Manager, Registration and Compliance, to be up front. I will also call upon our Second Vice President, Engineer Ogut to come up front and Engineer Korir also to come up front for the next session. As they come over, I want to recognize the presence of Kisumu County also Assembly Speaker is with us. We are grateful for your presence. Mr. Elisha Jack Orara. Karibu sana. We have also the president for the Institution of Surveyors of Kenya, Eric Nyandemo. Just say hi, thank you for being with us. We appreciate your coming. This is the session. If you had any comment, those who are following us online, please let's have your comments also. We are going to move so fast during this session. We'll give you time also to ask questions. So thank you very much, panelists, for your presentations that we have had from the beginning. I just want you to take 1 second. You'll just say your name. Then we proceed with the session. I'll start from my farthest right.
Good afternoon or good morning.
Just your name, then...
Recording in progress.
Engineer Christine Ogut, Second Vice President, the Institution of Engineers of Kenya. I also work as a Deputy Director at the National Transport and Safety Authority. I am a civil engineer, road safety auditor, and I also investigate crashes. Thank you.
Good morning once again. My name is Engineer Jennifer Korir. I'm the Hon Treasurer of the Institution of Engineers of Kenya. I'm a fellow member of IEK with 18 years experience. I'm also working with Kenya Urban Roads Authority, Nairobi, as a senior engineer. Thank you and karibuni.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Engineer Shama Kiteme. I'm a registered consulting engineer with the Engineers Board of Kenya. I practice in the area of civil engineering with interest in structures, wastewater, and airport engineering. And I'm privileged to host each and every one of you in this side event. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Q. Susan Ruto, General Manager in charge of registration and compliance at National Construction Authority, and I am happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, panelists. My first question goes to Engineer Shama Kiteme, who is the president. Would you highlight how IK can actively collaborate with the county governments to develop and implement policy framework that both accelerate digitalization and align with global engineering standards?
Thank you very much, Honsek. The theme of our side event, definitely, like you've been listening all through, has been on digitalization. And we have also made a presentation on infrastructure report card. I begin from the point of understanding that everything requires leadership. And I think it's John Maxwell who says everything rises and falls on leadership. So for the conversation on digitalization to advance, there must be leadership. And that means the leadership in counties must be deliberate on moving into this direction. And if that intention and willingness is there, IK is available. We have been interacting with counties. We have entered into memorandum of understanding with Kweni County. The one with Nyandarua County still works in progress. And so IK has been presently available. We have had meetings with Council of Governors. We have met with the chairman, His Excellency, the Governor for Wajir. And through our collaborative efforts, we have been able to develop the site inspection manual. This manual is by intent and purposes going to revolutionize infrastructure, the building sector, most especially in the industry, done collaboratively between NCA, IEK, and COG. And so IEK is available when the leadership is ready and intentional about digitalization to help in crafting the frameworks towards this. We have been involved in drafting instruments, a couple of them. And so this is not new to us. We are pretty much available, but the intention has to be there from the counties. And we have seen the counties we have interacted with, they're very energetic in embracing some of these concepts and conversations. We are able to work around drafting the policies, drafting the instruments that are necessary, but not just that, training and follow through for implementation. And so this is about declaring and confirming our availability for all the counties, the 47 of us in this regard. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, President. To the that is to Christine Ogut, engineer. Infrastructure scorecard has just been presented here. Would you please just give us what priorities and guide what things can be able to guide high impact and in the digital transformation initiatives?
Thank you very much, our own secretary. The infrastructure scorecard actually is a health check of where the different counties are in terms of service delivery and how we prioritize what needs to be done so that you can have impact. The first thing is that you must link the infrastructure scorecard outcome or the results that have been provided. You must link the infrastructure scorecard or the result that has been provided to the CIDP, and so that you actually create, a map of where you are in terms of the services. Once you have maps where you are, then the next thing, you must go beyond just looking at the scorecard and try and find out why are you in that position and what resources do you need to invest so that you can improve in that specific area. So once you have then identified what needs to be done, then you can actually draw your digitalization map, look at beyond financial resources, what is the human capital that you need, so that, for example, if you're in the transport sector and you want to improve on road safety from a digital perspective, then you will decide, do I want to use AI? Do I want to use cameras so that I am reducing fatalities in my respective country from 50% to 30%? Then, so you've reduced the number of fatalities, you've set a target. You've also looked at, when you're using the speed cameras, you're looking at how are you then reducing travel time in terms of congestion. And so, depending on what your priority is as a county government, then you will determine that this is the area that I'm going to invest in the shortest possible time and have the highest impact. A quick fix would be like there are countries that have not digitalized the payment of their rates. So that is something that once you've mapped all your property owners, it is very easy to get an ICT engineer or a software engineer to actually do that service for you. And in a span of like 3 months, you will have a result, because as we said, we want to give services to our residents in the counties from the comfort of their homes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Korir. What are the priority areas in the road sector where the infrastructure scorecard can be able to bring impact in the road sector?
Okay, thank you very much. As you heard that I'm working with Kenya Urban Roads Authority, and I think that's why the question is coming on the road sector. And I want to say, yeah, the president yesterday talked about the resources which are already available in the counties. and utilizing the already available resources, because most of the time it is so easy to say that the monies are not available. We don't have money. National government has not deployed the money. But what are we doing with the available resources? So the question was, please repeat that question.
The impact and key indicators that the counties can adopt in the road sector.
Thank you very much. So in the infrastructure report card, for you to come up with that IRC, you must have the key performance indicators, which are normally called KPIs. So in the road sector, in particular, I know in counties we are handling several infrastructure sectors, but in the road sector, we can talk about the road network coverage. For example, the rural access index. How many people are assessing a road, all-weather road? How many of them? Or are all people are not having, all the roads are not passable? So I think that we can use that rural access index on the road network coverage in the county. Increase in road network length per year. How many did we pave? How many did we maintain? We can also talk about road network coverage. I've talked about that, increase in road network, and also the rural access index. And then maintenance performance. How many kilometers are planned for routine or periodic maintenance? How many of them in the total network? Maybe county has 1,000 kilometers. So if you plan for 3 kilometers, then you will not have covered that. So, and then average maintenance cost per kilometer. Is your maintenance cost high or it is average? And then we can also talk about road safety indicators. How many fatalities, how many road crashes are there in the county, so that you can know that you are doing well or not. We can also talk about project delivery and funds absorption. Sometimes you award a tender to a contractor, and then 6 months down the line, no work has been done or no certificate has been paid. Because certificates are paid based on the works done, then that means that we are not performing well. We can also check the quality of compliance. When we come for tests, for example, material testing and research, when they come to test those quality of those roads, how many are passing those quality tests? And then we can also check climate resilient infrastructure in the road sector. Are our roads all weather? Or when it rains, no produce will go to the market, or all that. So I think that is what I can say for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So this is a document that can be able to help the counties to perform their duties very well. QS Susan, we see the inspection handbook, which is has been developed and is yet to be launched. So how can NCA plan, what is the plan of NCA in supporting counties in the adoption and application of this particular document? I think this is one of the areas which is going to be very critical in the construction industry.
Thank you so much, Engineer Moderator. On that question on the site handbook, first and foremost, I want to say that at National Construction Authority, we collaborated with IEK together with representative from COG during the development of this site handbook. And the steps that NCA is going to have for it to be implemented or to be adopted, one is to do more sensitization. And on this, we will require that together with IEK, we'll do more sensitization, because most of our counties and also the professional in the construction field, I know this is a document which will soon be launched, and it will require more sensitization and also the training. So we plan for targeted training so that at our county levels, we'll be able to sensitize people so that they'll be able to use this site handbook. And also at the National Construction Authority, we have also our project registration and quality assurance, where we carry out project registration, where we carry out quality assurance. So we will also amend our template for registration and also for quality assurance so that it can have the provision for what is provided for in the site handbook. So for now, that is what we are going to do. So we need more sensitization and also the training on the same, because the public and the stakeholders at large, they also need to understand how this site handbook will be used together with the National Building Code. Thank you.
Thank you, QS, for your response. President Engineer Shama Kiteme, what is the role of IEK in this support?
Thank you very much. I want to begin by saying, as an institution of engineers of Kenya, one of our very key goal for us is partnerships. And nothing exemplifies this than the product that we came together with National Construction Authority and the Council of Governors to develop the Site Inspection Handbook. Why is this critical? The other day, we saw a building that became a leaning tower of Pisa in Mombasa County. And we deployed KDF to bring it down. And several agencies came together to try to look into this matter. Now, that is not new. Since 1996, when we had the first building collapse, we have had a number of them. And we have had investigations. We have had findings filed. There has been efforts to improve this situation, and we have seen, thankfully, the situation keep on improving. But one of our critical things that we thought working together with COG and NCA is that we can go a step further and document the various steps and checks that we need to make sure that we follow through in a construction site. So that then, not only do we standardize this, but we provide a means of making sure that there is no room for missing a particular check. There's a reason as to why the electrical engineer will tell you a socket needs to be 1 feet from the ground. There's a reason why the electrical engineer will tell you the switch needs to be at a certain place within the and the closeness to the door. There's a reason why the mechanical engineer will calculate the volume of the building to determine the air change or AC system. Those are known by the experts. But the person on the site, the person who is implementing this in the site, does he have a tool to check and ascertain compliance to some of the expected standards? Now, this is where the Site Inspection Handbook comes in. That the necessity for slump tests, the necessity for cylinder crash test results being done and recorded on site, the necessity of having a mechanical engineer who is licensed, an electrical engineer who is licensed, and a structural engineer who is licensed, being actively involved in a site. That needs to be properly documented. Because every time you go to site and you find that things are not being done the right way, and you have no way of documenting and showing the right way that it should be done, then we are facing a gap. And this is what the site inspection manual comes in to seal. It is going to be useful for inspectors from the counties. It is going to be useful for inspectors from the National Construction Authority. It's going to be useful for all statutory authorities that are involved in the building sector. But most importantly, our work as Institution of Engineers of Kenya, because we are involved in advocacy and welfare for our members, is collaborative with national and county governments to ensure safety in our construction sites. We are presently available for training, capacity building, and equipping our sites, agents, inspectors, and everyone involved in the building sector so that collectively we can achieve the goal of zero collapse of buildings and making sure that we have safety in our construction sites.
Thank you, President. That is a key document for the counties and the national government to help in curbing some of the deficiencies that we've had. Engineer Christine Ogut, please just highlight some gaps, technological gaps that the county engineers, that the engineers can help the counties to bridge in the next 5 years.
Thank you very much. The biggest or the largest technological gap related to digitalization is the lack of a unified infrastructure map. And that unified infrastructure map is not integrated. And how can engineers help the counties address that gap? The first thing is that they will prepare a roadmap so that the specific infrastructure is actually mapped for a specific county, so that on one platform with different layers, you will have how infrastructure has been implemented across the county. Once that has been done, the next bits will be to identify the areas that are prioritized for improvement. And once that has been done, the county at that point will then invest in those areas, and it will now gradually monitor where it is in terms of digitalization of those specific infrastructure services. For example, when you improve road infrastructure, the next thing that happens is you've mapped that road, you've invested in it, then developments will begin coming up along the frontage of that road. And what that means is for the county government, you'll be able to actually increase in terms of charging rates. You'll also now increase your infrastructure coverage in terms of giving services like water. But for you to do that, we all agreed that then you will bring on board the different engineers so that you get quality services. So once you have invested, then now that cycle keeps on going on for the different areas that you've prioritized, which are linked to your CIDP, which are linked to your budget, and slowly now you're focused. You know which direction you're going, and by the time the next infrastructure scorecard is being done, you already know that I was at this level, and based on this level of investment, these are my achievements, and this is what I have done. So on the basis of that, you already have a roadmap where investors, whether they're development partners, whether it is the national government, or whether it is the county government itself, then already knows what areas it needs to invest in from a digital perspective. And for us, the greatest technical gap is the lack of that integrated map for the counties that maps all its services so that from there they can digitalize them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You can actually see that the information is here and the plan and the roadmap is with IEK. So we are looking at these collaborations with the counties that we can employ that knowledge. I want to come back to you, QS, for this particular question. The public needs delivery, cost control, and quality assurance in county construction projects. So what are these game changers and innovation or system game changers that you have?
Thank you, engineer. On this, what we will need as a game changer will be remote monitoring of the projects and also the construction projects in our country. Once we embrace that, that is whereby we can use the GIS, the GPS, and also the drones. So as the authority, we are already piloting, or now we will also include GPS in our operation, because we realize that most of the construction projects, they are even happening in fast areas. And because of this insufficient resources, we may not be in a position to be in those areas at all time. So if we embrace the remote monitoring, we'll be able to reach out to that. And also in together with that also, even in digitalizing our processes so that at any given point, we'll be able to access all our projects, all our portals with regards to quality assurance. We'll be able even to monitor what is going on our construction sites. So also with the authority, we've already developed a mobile app where we are calling the Ujenzi app, whereby when our inspectors go to sites, they are able to update on the status of the construction projects. And also together with that, we've also digitalize all our processes. This is with regards to project registration and even contractor registration, whereby any stakeholder, you will be able to check any construction projects and also to confirm the status, and even the consultants who are undertaking those projects. So at a click of a button, without visiting those sites, you will be able to monitor, you will be able to track the progress of those. So those are some of the innovation we can employ in this construction sector. Thank you.
Great, very insightful. And I'll now jump over to the other side, and this goes to our engineer, Engineer Correll, on what we are calling now the digital tools. Just give us simple highlights that's in the road projects, these digital tools that you're using for planning, monitoring, and maintenance, and what steps can counties take to replicate and adapt these tools?
Thank you very much for that question, which aligns well to today's theme in the Devolution Conference. So the digital tools that we can apply maybe in the transport sector, where both county government and national government can have, is we can have a road asset management system. Road asset management system, I'm sure that all of us knows that where you invest, that is your asset. So the road is actually an asset, and if we can have a digital tool showing road asset management system, that can aid in resource allocation. So we are no longer, as I said when I was presenting, when IRC, for example, has been done, you will no longer invest politically, but you will have informed data that can assist. So when you have road asset management system, that can assist in resource allocation. In other countries, the countries will know that this particular road, allow me to use a road as an infrastructure example, they will know that, for example, Thika Road was designed to last for 15 years. So by the time 15 years is reaching, they already have an investment because they know in their system that this particular road is due for maintenance or this particular road is due for reconstruction. So I think this road asset management system can assist. And in that management system, the road which is due for maintenance can show red or a certain color, and it will aid in resource allocation. NTSA also have teams, Transport Integrated Management System, and I think my colleague talked about it, where they have digitized motor vehicle registration, cashless secure payment system, enabled SMS notification, and I'm sure in many counties, when you park and you have not paid, there is that SMS that you are told, kindly pay within maybe 5 minutes, and I think that is where we can invest. So for those counties maybe who have not reached there, you can actually do that so that it can guide. There is also parking. When you can see that congestion is caused by lack of parking, especially in on-street parking in the towns. And all the counties have their urban centers. So when people are approaching a certain street, there should be a system showing that 3 maybe parking spaces are available or there is no parking space, so that someone can be guided to drive through or to turn to another street where they can look for parking. So those are the digital tools that can be applied in the counties. There is also, that I've talked about on-street parking, and I think that one can assist in that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer. And I think that it's closely related to I know. Thank you, President. I know there is a call. Thank you for your presence here. Engineer Christine, we have issues of vehicle registrations and licensing. What practical lessons can counties adopt from NTSA?
Thank you very much. There are very many lessons we have learned at the National Transport and Safety Authority. The first one is that centralized integrated service portals work. So the portal at NTSA covers driver registration. So beyond the driving licenses, it also covers vehicle registration. We are also able to see on a single portal the licensing of the driving schools. We also to see on that single portals which students have taken exam and what is the takeaway for the counties. Instead of separate portals for land rates, business permits, parking, etc., counties, you can actually create a single e-citizen style portal for services. So map all your county services, identify those with overlapping data needs, and design a unified digital entry point. The other one that we have learned is that digitalization improves transparency and revenue collection. And I can tell you, like, one of the revenue streams in around 2015 there, NTSA from vehicle inspections was collecting around 20 million. That has since grown to over 500 million. So because of transparency, you're able to see who is paying for the motor vehicle inspections. We are able to send SMSs to the vehicles owners whose motor vehicle inspection has expired. So the county e-payments for service permits, fees, fines can also close on the leakage points, and that will improve your revenue collection. So link your county systems again or integration to mobile money payments directly into service workflows. The other one is that the data we have collected at NTSA becomes a strategic asset. We have utilized the digital data we have collected in terms of speed, so that when we see that a vehicle is violating the required speed, we're able to call the next police station and that driver is sanctioned. We have also used that data to come up with what interventions we actually need to do, because now you're able to see what are the trends in the crashes. And based on that, we're able to come up with corrective action. So in a similar manner, the county services data, whether it is on waste collection, land use, building approvals, that can drive evidence-based decision making. So beyond just having the data, what you do with it is very important in terms of planning for infrastructure. In terms of public awareness, one of the things, again, we learned is that, and I always see when we introduce a new area of digitalization, initially you meet some resistance because the users do not appreciate why you have gone that direction. The last one, when we brought on board the digital speed limiters that actually transmit speed data to the servers at NTSA, initially we had resistance from the drivers, from the vehicle owners, but that system, what it does is that you're able to see if a driver tampers with the speed limiter, you're able to know at what point he tampered with the speed limiter. If the driver has overspeeds beyond 80 kilometers per hour, on our system, you're able to see the violation. When we have crashes, we're able to know at what speed that specific vehicle was being driven at. So one of the lessons we have learned is that you must budget for awareness creation. So we've had opportunity to continuously sensitize the vehicle owners on why they must install speed limiters in their vehicles. The other lesson that, so for the counties, as you bring on board these digitalization changes, you will need to actually budget for that. The other area that, the other lesson that we have learned is that service access equity must be addressed. So you must, by providing online services, we have actually more or less onboarded most of the PSVs, vehicles and the commercial vehicles. So every time they come for inspection, then we actually sensitize them and ensure that they are onboarded. So again, you must ensure that you onboard all your services across board so that then you're able to give equitable services. The last one is on cybersecurity and system resilience. Again, our platform has been faced with downtime and attempt of cyber breaches. That always happens when you go digital. So the county takeaway is that build redundancy, backup systems, and strong security from the start. Finally, the interagency linkages. On our system, as a member of the public, you're able to actually go to our system, seek for whatever information you require, and as you log in your details, I think there's some money that you pay for that service. You're able to actually get the service. If it is KRA, they're able to get onto our system and look at the vehicle, and our system is integrated with KRA, so that for all the vehicles, you're actually able to see, has this vehicle paid its taxes or not, import duty on the vehicle. In terms of insurance, especially for all vehicles, it is a requirement that you take your vehicle to the insurer for the annual insurance cover. They're able to link in and confirm the details, the ownership, the chassis number. They're able to access that information in terms of insurance. So what am I trying to say? That whatever services that you provide on a digital platform, you can interlink between national government and the county government. And also for the road infrastructure, we've been able to link our services to the road database at the Kenya Roads Board.
Thank you.
The practical message I'm taking is that it is important to negotiate data sharing agreements early to enable interoperability.
Thank you.
So all said done, you can actually work across on one platform and have different levels of access based on the user and the relevant government agency. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer. Engineer can highlight so many. Yes, I know.
Yes, I wanted to add something on digitization, and intelligent transport system where Kenya urban roads are done, and I think counties can also do that by collaborating, and because counties collect cess, and also some roads are damaged because of the axle load, so we need axle load control, and I think we can also digitize that so that we can monitor to enable you to collect more cess collection and also to protect the road asset as we talked about. Thank you.
Thank you very much, QS. Susan, just give also a highlight from NCA that counties can be able to adopt.
Okay, thank you. I think on the issues of adopting, maybe I can talk about some of the practical steps that the authority has taken in regards to digitalization. I want to say that the National Construction Authority, for the last 9 years, it has embraced the online process whereby we have a contractor registration portal where contractors submit their application for registration, they are registered, and you are able to have all the database of all the contractors. You are also able to see even the projects that are being undertaken by the same contractors. We also have the project registration, whereby the developers or the clients, they have an opportunity to submit their project, to register their projects, to indicate who their consultants are, so that at the same time also the stakeholders, if you want to get any data with regards to all the construction projects which are taking place in our various counties across the country, we are able to provide that particular information. We also have an online accreditation portal where we register and accredit our skilled construction workers and also the site construction supervisors. In addition to that, we also carry out training to our contractors, and this training is important because it also enables the contractors also to appreciate some of these digital tools and digital processes where they are expected to be digitalized. Apart from that, also we have also decentralized the access of our system, that is board registration, RCIS, which is regulatory information construction system, and also our online registration process for the project, whereby all our stakeholders, the consultants, in this case, we've managed to integrate with Borax and also EPK, whereby IEK members are also registered by EPK. So in that way, they are able also to update their projects, and we are able to view the status of that in our portals. And all these processes, it is also able to reduce the cost because, for example, if it is for a contractor, instead of visiting the various offices to process your registration process, you are just able to submit your application at the comfort of your desk. Likewise, also to the developers also, you are able to view this, we are able to link with other agencies. And also we are looking forward also to having one-stop shop whereby all our counties will be able to integrate their processes to our processes also, even with other government agencies. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I know we are pressed with time, and I would wish that we open the floor for a few questions from the physical delegates, and we have some for the online attendees. And I just want to give you 30 seconds just to, when we are done, then you'll have 30 seconds just to have your parting shots. I will start with the one question online from Helen Accord. You can unmute and ask your question so that I get 3 from here. Yes, Helen Accord, online. Can we be able to get the question? Okay, as they prepare. Yes, madam, you can we have the roving mic? Please. We need support for you.
Thank you very much. My name is Commissioner Dorothy Ochieng from Homa Bay Municipality. Allow me to congratulate you. Presentation was very encouraging and we've learned a lot. I have one question dealing with human resource. Majorly, the county governments as well as the national government is really suffering from ghost workers. And I've realized that IEK, majorly, your work is to help the national and the county governments to improve on service delivery. Because of ghost workers, both are unable. I just want to say that the wage bill pressure is too high, and this has led to reduction in resource for development. So, in your GIS mapping and risk modeling, how can you help both national government and county government to solve this issue of ghost workers, because it's becoming a thorn in these two governments. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Elisha Jakuraro, a Speaker, County Assembly of Kisumu. I am an engineer by profession, water and environmental engineer. Now, I want to appreciate you for the presentation. I've got 3 short questions. One goes to the QS. I like her presentation, but my concern is, to what extent do you work with the PPRA, the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority, in terms of ensuring quality assurance? Because you are aware that currently, when you are doing evaluation for contracts, it is the lowest evaluated responsive bidder. But you find that there are people who may quote lower to get their projects, and in the long run gives low quality. But for you as a QS, you have even determined rates applicable to different items. But you see, when it comes to evaluation during procurement, that is not followed. That is one. Number 2, I hope the chair was here, but at least the vice chair is here and the secretary is here. 2 questions for you. One, the entry point for engineers at county level, is a bit high. That's why when you go to counties, you find that there is a few number of engineers employed. I wonder what you are doing to maybe negotiate with Public Service Commission and the boards across the counties to ensure that there is employment of engineers at the counties. The entry point, the entry level, when I talk of the entry level, it means in terms of remuneration. I think it's a challenge. So there is a high turnover of engineers at different counties at different levels. Now, lastly, is on monitoring. You are aware that, yes, as engineers, we do design. But again, the supervisory role lies also again with the engineers. But I've heard the president present, and in his presentation, he mentions a lot the COG and other levels. Where are the county assemblies? Because one of the roles of the county assemblies is oversight. And there is a thin line between oversight and supervision. And where the rubber meets the road are the ward representatives. So there is need to find a way of linking IEK and the county assemblies in terms of even the manuals for monitoring and what is supposed to be checked. The site construction manual that has been referred to by the QS, and I think even with the engineers. Otherwise, thank you so much, and I like the presentation.
So good afternoon. My name is Kariuki from IGRTC. I have a short question. I'm an engineer by profession. One of the challenge that we are having so much is digital literacy, especially in the counties. I've visited almost 47 counties. Especially there is a lack of digital literacy. Digital literacy. In terms of those engineers, we have, I don't want to use that word, but those engineers who are in the counties since they were municipality. So the level of the upcoming technology which is coming up, there is a big gap. As IEK, how are we doing to bridge that gap? Because you found some of the counties or some of the technology which is being used there is obsolete. Thank you.
We'll take those questions, then we'll again come back for more. Let me have the first question that was asked by the commissioner. Probably Engineer Ogut, please, you can take up that.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Dorothy. Yes, thank you very much for that very interesting question. Ghost workers thrive because we are using, and I'm saying we because I worked in the county government. When you have a manual payroll that is paper-based, then it is difficult to even track, the records of your employees. But when you have now your records of your employees that are digitalized, it is even easy now to check whether, because you link that system to other government systems, you're able to check with the Kenya National Examination Council if their papers are right. You're able to check with the registrar of births if the ID number is correct. So corruption actually thrives when you have a lot of records that are not very clear. So how does digitalization help eliminate then the ghost workers? First, you must have a centralized HR and payroll integration. You also must have, under your HR policies, what are the requirements for the specific job that you have advertised as a county, so that you are ensuring that there is right placement of your staff. You are linking the HR information with the payroll. You could also have biometric systems for identification, where every time your staff come in, they actually log in. Some counties have gone ahead where they're able actually to even track where their staff are, where their chief officers are. And I would like to take you to the case of, this is a case of a local government out of this country. For them, they are able to even monitor to know that this specific officer has gone to this specific location using the GIS mapping, that they're able to know that at this point, this specific officer will be undertaking this specific repair. So using the national ID, bank account validation, audit trails, all that, you can actually have the data on one platform. And on the basis of that, there will be no ghost workers, because one, you'd have linked them to a specific ID. Two, you'd have linked them to a specific fingerprint. And three, you'd have linked them to their right academic qualifications.
Thank you.
So you must digitalize your HR records.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me come to QS Susan to react to that question on awards to the contractors who do not have capacity.
Okay, thank you, my colleague, for your question, where you are asking to what extent we work with PPRA to address the issue of contractors who are being awarded works just because they are the lowest evaluated. On this particular one, it is not only to PPRA. This is something also which applies to all the implementing agencies, whether it is national government, whether it is counties, whether it is also private partners. When it comes to registration of construction of contractors with the authority, contractors are registered in various categories and also in various classes of works. Maybe I can highlight on the issues of classes of works, where we have the building works, road works, water works, electrical engineering services, and mechanical engineering services. As part of classification, there is also categorization, whereby contractors are categorized from NCA 1 up to NCA 8, whereby NCA 8 is the lowest. And for various classes of works, they have different value limits. For example, if it is building works, for example, and you are registered under category NCA 8 building works, you can only undertake works which are 10 millions. But if you are a building contractor and you are NCA 1, then it means you can only handle construction of value of more than 500 millions. If it is road works, you can only do works which is more than 750 million. And it is brought down like that up to NCA 8. But what we've observed is that when it's come to implementing agencies, not really PPRA, what implementing agencies, when they are tendering, when they are asking for bids, you find that they are tendering for works which is, let's say, 10 million, for example, and you find them inviting even NCA 1 contractors, or the categorization you pick from, let's say, NCA 4 and above. So when you group all these contractors, you will find that an NCA 4 contractor and NCA 1 contractor, how they will price their tenders. There will be a big difference, because when it comes to an NCA 1 contractor, you find that they have more overhead and more capital to meet. So when it comes to their pricing, you find that an NCA 1 contractor, for example, will price high because of more overheads in their companies. But when it comes to NCA 6, for example, you find that they'll be pricing very low, because maybe for them, they don't even have a workshop. They rely on just engaging day-to-day workers. So you find that their overhead for them is lower. So how to address this is encouraging all our implementing agencies to adhere to the value limits. If the value of works is 200 million and above, for example, then the category of the contractor that you invite a contractor who can only handle those particular value of works. So that applies to all the implementing agencies. So what we are doing as NCA is to sensitize more. We sensitize on the implementing agencies and also PPRA. So whenever a tender is put on papers and we find that maybe the requirements does not meet what is provided for, we always write to advise on that. In addition to that, of course, we've also had complaints on the capacity of most of the contractors which are registered with ourselves. So currently, the authority is revising the evaluation criteria, whereby for you to be categorized into a particular category, you must prove evidence of work done in your past experience, so that when you are given some particular works, at least you've demonstrated that you have the capacity to undertake those works. Thank you.
Thank you very much, QS. I want Engineer Corey. All right, you'll clarify the question. We respond to one of your questions by Engineer Korir on the entry for engineers, the entry point for engineers, and also the involvement of county assembly in the inspection, and oversight. Engineer Korir.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa, for that question. So you say that entry point for engineers in the county level is a bit high. I hope that is the question. And you are telling us if we can negotiate with Public Service Commission for that entry level, means that that engineer which is being employed at the first time. So I wanted to say that for you to develop, sometimes you just have to invest. And investing means that you can invest in human resource at the same time in the infrastructure. So as far as we are, there is negotiation with the public service, there is also the entry level that was approved for the engineers, and going below that, I don't know. So I think it is it's a good thing that you have considered that engineers can actually be employed, but the entry level is the problem. But I want to say that we can actually budget and consider that, because when investing, you have to invest rightfully. You have to invest for the right human resource. You have to invest for to employ the right people for the right system. So I hope I got that question. But I think they still open. We can still talk to the public service, but I want my engineer to add something. Thank you.
30 seconds.
Thank you very much. When I joined the local government, and I want to tell the county governments that county governments used to even pay more than national governments. Somewhere along the line, with the increments in the salaries, national government then overtook the local authorities in paying, because remember, the payments for the local authorities was negotiated under CBA. So, for you to be able to retain, because for me I worked for 27 years, for you to be able to retrain the engineers, you must give them a good package. We had training opportunities, and those training opportunities, when you went to Public Service Commission, there was a desk officer specifically for the local government, and so we enjoyed the benefits of training. And once you got trained, you're also entitled to a promotion. And beyond that, which you don't get in the national government, is that as a county engineer or an engineer then in the council or in the municipality, you are able to rotate and get more skills. So once you worked in the different sectors that were owned by the council or the municipality at that time, then it was easy for you to get registered as a professional engineer. So we had better working environments than we have now that are more politically driven. Although again, at that time, we still had councillors, but you really need to look at why are the engineers leaving and address that problem. We at IEK are willing to come and meet the county assembly and discuss further. Now, you have talked about the issue of oversight. Now, engineers are technical, and we must agree that the assembly is made of political leaders. The question is that are you willing to then listen to the technical side, the technical advice we would give? Because it is based on that technical advice that then you, as the oversight of the counties at the assembly level, you'll be able to make informed decisions. So if you look at today's presentation, we have given you an infrastructure scorecard. We've also talked to you about digitalization. And I want to believe that if you read the infrastructure scorecard, it will tell you where you are, where you need to invest as a county. If you look at digitalization, it will now open the officers who are working in the county to be more accountable, transparent, and at a click of a button, you in the ward will be able to know where you are in terms of service delivery. So we will write to the Council of Governors, because that is the body we go through, to organize for a meeting between IEK and the county assemblies so that we can engage this conversation further. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And just to add, there is the aspect of the inspection handbook. This has been done in collaboration with both the Council of Governors and the NCA and IEK. So it's a collaborative effort that has been done with the IEK. Maybe for one clarification, then we can be able now to close this.
Yeah, just one clarification on the first question. Assume all the contractors are in the same level. My concern was when you tender or you send bids outside, there must have been an engineer's estimate somewhere internally that this work, for it to be complete, it can cost maybe 10 million based on the engineer's estimate. And that estimate is based on the QS rates that they have provided. Then when you advertise, somebody intentionally quotes low to get the work. So if it is 10 million and you get somebody who has quoted 6 million, and you are doing evaluation and somebody has quoted 9 million, as per the client or the engineer, somebody who has quoted 9 million is next to doing that work properly. Somebody who has quoted 6 million will run away from the project. That's what I was saying. So I'm asking, to what extent are you working with the procurement guys on the issue of evaluation? So that apart from the lowest evaluated responsible bidder, you also look at the rates. It used to happen initially, sometimes back, that apart from the overall cost, you also look at the rates of the items provided. Some could be too high, some could be too low. That's what I was asking. Then finally, on the county assembly, it's not politicians. We have technical persons in the county assembly. The members come in and go away every 5 years, but there are technical persons who are there, who are the custodian of all the things that happens there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for highlights and for the information. And I believe this requires a collaborative effort so that both the professional bodies together with the county and national government to work together so that we can be able to, change laws where appropriate. Thank you very much. And we have some questions that are coming to us from online platform. We have performance measures. What practical data-driven indicators can be used to fairly assess the performance of elected leaders in service delivery, considering the different levels of government responsibility? That's question one. Question two, they are behind you, transparency and digitalization. How can digital tools such as online dashboards or citizen scorecards be implemented to make government performance transparent and accessible to the public in real time? And last question from our online platform is accountability and political will. What strategies can be put in place to ensure that performance metrics genuinely influence political accountability? Thank you very much for those who've asked these questions online. And as our panelists are responding, I want to give them each 2 minutes so that you can respond to this aspect. As at the same time, you give us your parting shot so that we bring this session to a close. And afterwards, I'll call upon the next person to guide. I will start from QA Susan.
Thank you. I'll clarify on the question which was asked with regards to the lowest evaluated tender. And you're asking to what extent we work with PPRA. You realize that the PPRA, they also have a law, or it is provided for in their act and also in their regulation, whereby the contractor that can be awarded is lowest evaluated. So in the scenario that I had explained earlier, it was for the case whereby maybe contractors are of different categories, but you've clarified that in this case, we assume that all the contractors are of the same categories. So in this, if they've gone through the registration, then all of them must have the same capacity and capability to carry out those works. But when it comes to the lowest, whereby you just disqualify somebody because of tendering law, because before even an award is given, if a contractor has tendered much below the estimate, for example, I am aware that the client have a liberty to write to that contractor to confirm whether he will do those works as per the rates which are given. So in the law, there is no way we can disqualify that contractor. Previously, Public Works, for example, they used to have an engineer's estimate, whereby if you bid plus or minus 10%, you are going to be disqualified. But currently, in the revised law, there is no provision for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that requires a clear alignment of laws so that such can be resolved. Yes, but yeah, I believe you also had your parting shot in the same. So you can give us your parting shot. Then we get to Engineer Korir.
Okay, thank you so much. My partition is that I appreciate this participation. I know it has been an insight, it has been interactive, and we look forward to working together, collaborating together to make the construction industry a better place to be. And maybe to end, authority, we are also having a site event, which is starting at 2 at tent number 9. So I'll also kindly invite all of us to join us at 2. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before I do my parting shot, there was a question from Kariuki on digital literacy. And I wanted to say that maybe the engineers or the members of the counties, the staff of the counties can be actually trying to attend, especially engineers, to attend the IEK capacity buildings, which we always organize in different digital platforms. And also, IEK can also do specialized or institutional training to address the gap. For example, if we can come to Kisumu County and say that they want to implement this item and they have not, their engineers want to know, we can actually tailor-make training for that particular county or even an institution. We have done that in even national government. There was a question on performance measurement for assessed elected leaders. I think that is a collaboration that we can, maybe next time when we do IRC, we can get a performance indicator for the elected leaders. So for my parting shot, I want to appreciate you for coming to listen to us. And we are currently doing, IEK is doing IRC 2025, and we'll be looking forward to receiving data from different institutions. And at such a time as this, maybe next year, we'll be able to present IRC 2025 and see how we are performing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer. Yes, Engineer Christine.
Thank you very much. The issue about the political leadership and how you measure their performance is really a public perception. So it is not normally very objective. So you'll find that the political leader who is more visible, even if it's just turning the water tap or being at a borehole, people will say, ameleta maji. Yes, he has brought water, but it is serving how many people? So you'll find that from a political perspective, for them, what have they done? The one who can scream the loudest, the one who is more visible. But remember, the projects they're also implementing are based on the CIDP. So for me, I would advise them that they take our infrastructure scorecard, because for each country, it will then tell you where you are and what needs to be done. Then you prioritize based on that. And then you also ensure you are visible every time you are launching any of your projects and every time there is an outcome. Digitalization, of course, will help. My parting shot is that digitalization is the way to go. For the old school engineers like myself, we have had to learn. We are also digital and we're able to communicate. So digitalization will provide accountability, will enhance service delivery, and will be able to hold everybody accountable, whether it is the MCA, whether it is the officers at the county. We all must be held to account for our actions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for the panelists. We have come to the end. They've done so well. They've tried to respond to our questions. We appreciate your time and listening to us. We believe we are still going to have conversations with the county. Each and every one of you is part of us. And we do appreciate those who are with us physically. We also have those who are following us online. Thank you very much for your patience. I hope we have also responded to your questions. And any clarifications, we have a booth here. So you can visit the booth so that we can be able also to respond further to most of the questions. We appreciate you, and you can just rise down and walk down. Okay, you come close so that there is a photo session. And I want to call upon Dr. Damaris, Dr. Engineer Damaris, to come and give us the closing remarks. So, engineer, welcome.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all for joining us in this side event. Thank you all. And what I would like to just emphasize is that all the services that IK is to offer in the various counties, we are devolved. We have various branches, and in each branch, we have the county heads. So at the click of the button, you can always meet us. And also, if you are to access our services, we have our social media handles, we have our websites, we have our mobile contacts. You can always contact us for any services you need. As we are speaking about digitalization, it's quite important in all the services that are offered in the county, be it health, agriculture, and all these things. With digitalization, you are able to plan, because all these things is about data. Once we are digitalized, we have the data that we can plan, maintain, operate, and do anything that we need in the county. So that is the way to go, so that you are able to plan and also promote our various development agendas within our counties. Other than that, it also helps us to meet our various sustainable development goals. To talk more about IK, being the leading voice for engineers, we have quite a lot to offer. And as a parting shot to continue with this conversation, I invite you for a 32nd convention that will be happening in Pride in Mombasa, so that we can continue with more of this conversation and we are able to interact further. So welcome and interact with the Institution of Engineers of Kenya. Thank you for attending.